Braves had the go-ahead run at third, and he was able to strike out Albies and get Markakis to pop up to at least keep it tied. This is drilled down the right field line toward the wall. It's out of here. Johan Camargo wins it for the Braves with his third home run of the year. And for the second time in 3 games in this series, Atlanta wins on a walk-off home run.
All right, that wasn't the case tonight, but an all too familiar sight for Mets fans. And at 49 and 66, well, we've witnessed a lot of tough losses for the Mets this season. A couple of weeks ago, when things looked as dire as ever and fans were really getting frustrated and really getting down about their amazings, a mental health company started offering free therapy to any Mets fan that were in need. And joining me right now, Dave Kirpin, CEO of Uma Health, and Dr. Mariana Strongen, a licensed clinical psychologist. Welcome to Sports Extra.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so we're going to start with you. Dave, how did Uma Health come up with the idea to start offering free therapy specifically to Mets fans?
So I'm a diehard Mets fan. I've been following the Mets literally since '86. And of course, it's been pretty much downhill since '86. I've had a lot of tough times as a Mets fan. And it's funny because Mets fans always talk about what the team needs to do to get better. But the reality is, as fans, we really can't control what the team does and whether they win or lose on the field. But I thought, you know, in this role, I can't make the team better, but maybe I can actually make the lives of the fans a little bit better by offering free therapy.
That's a good perspective. Dr. Strongen, can being a fan specifically who their team is struggling and they're going through this, can it actually trigger true conditions that affect your mental or physical health?
Yes, absolutely. I think if there are any underlying disturbances, such as a mood disorder or feeling hopelessness, I think going to a game and putting all your effort there and all of a sudden it losing can worsen those symptoms. Absolutely.
So, Dave, take us through real quick, what is normally offered at Uma Health?
Sure. So Uma Health is a marketplace where it's really easy to find a therapist that meets your needs. And so you go on to umahealth.com, you look at the different therapists, and what they specialize in, where they're based, what their prices are, and you pick a therapist. Now, with this therapy promotion, you can get your first appointment free. Of course, if you want to continue seeing a therapist, you eventually do have to pay. But we wanted to make it as easy as possible for people to try therapy that maybe hadn't ever tried it before.
And I know a lot of this lately, we've done a lot of stories on it. It's kind of ending the stigma that's behind mental health and getting help for it and being open about it. So how have Mets fans reacted? Have you seen them signing up and coming forward saying, yeah, I'm kind of bothered by this, I could use a little help?
It's actually been amazing. We've had hundreds of people sign up. And the nice thing is, you know, I can't speak about the particular individuals, but I'm definitely, I get the sense that a lot of the people that have signed up are men, and maybe, you know, they wouldn't have otherwise tried out therapy if we hadn't given them an excuse to use this free promotion.
And clearly, I mean, this is a very sensitive and very serious topic. We know that in Hollywood there have been a lot of suicides as of late. So there's been some really dark times when it comes to mental health lately. And there was some people from the school of thought that maybe this was being made light because of the Mets fans, but is it, or is it, you know, not at all? You're saying no, doctor?
No, not at all, because I think the Mets fans represent the general public, and we want to make mental health accessible to all. Statistics have found that mental health is available, but the problem is people are not using it. And, you know, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. And I think if more people were able to access therapy, I think the statistics would change.
Dr. Strongen, I know you can't talk about specific patients, of course, but what are some things that can come up that you've, you know, helped people work with, or maybe somebody listening today you could speak to, and then maybe they'll take that next step further and actually talk to a doctor?
Absolutely. I mean, people come to me for all ranges of things, ranging from mood disorders, depression, anxiety, but also people who really want to get to know themselves a little bit better. And I always, you know, stress that, you know, the more you know about yourself, the better you are. And I think people really, really benefit from therapy. And I want to stress that you don't have to have a real problem to go to therapy.
I think that's really important, because people think, oh, I'm not diagnosed with anything, I don't need therapy. Have you seen that, because of this Mets offer, change the narrative a little bit?
I think we have a long way to go, for sure, but we're working at UMA to change that narrative. You know, when somebody wants to go see a trainer and go to the gym, people say, way to go. When somebody wants to go see a therapist, they say, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And we want to change that. Why is it that when you work on your body, you're celebrated, but when you work on your mind and your heart, you're sort of like questioned?
Right, if you have a cold, you want to fix that, so you go get medicine.
Right.
So last Wednesday, before it was a noon game at Citi Field, you went out and handed out flyers. So of course you had put this already out there on the internet. You actually physically were in front of fans entering Citi Field. What was that like? What was their reaction?
It was a blast. You know, I was a little nervous, frankly, that standing outside Citi Field, you know, as security guards came up to us, they were going to kick us out. And actually, they took the vouchers and they said,
there you go.
They said, hey, we could use this too. Exactly. So, you know, obviously not everyone took us up on the offer, but there was quite a few people that said, you know, I could use this year.
Wow.
So it was actually a really good experience.
Do you guys work with athletes as well, or it just depends on who kind of calls in?
Yes, I definitely work with athletes, and I love working with athletes because I think they have some of the strongest mind-body connection. You know, they're able to really visualize something and then make it happen. But sometimes when they get into their head a little too much, that's when somebody like a sports psychologist or even I can help them improve their game.
And of course, this promotion is absolutely open to not only Mets fans, but certainly employees.
Now, here's a question for you. And I'm not making light of this, but I know from working in sports talk radio, I mean, you get fans that call screaming. It's sometimes a little scary, or you could hear them really depressed. Jets went through bad seasons multiple years in a row. The Knicks haven't had a winning season in a long time. Any advice as a fan kind of enters into that season, maybe expecting the worst, you know, expecting their team's not going to be so great? What are some, you know, tips you could kind of give them to keep themselves at ease and kind of peaceful and not bring on any of this?
So, you know, a sports psychologist always stresses to players that it's the process that's more important than the outcome. And I think the same should go for the fans. Enjoy the process. Enjoy all of it, the ups and downs, and not focus so much on the outcome.
I love that.
You see, now this is really valuable for me as a Mets fan.
Right
here, as a Mets fan, I'm like, focus on the process, not on the win-loss record.
Yes, yes.
Meanwhile, since you came up, though, with this offer, Mets have been playing pretty darn good.
You know, they're on a roll. Maybe
maybe
there's something to this free therapy offer.
Oh, maybe there's that right. It goes beyond the fans. Maybe it's working on the diamonds.
If we win 3 series in a row, I'm going to take the credit with Uma for all this free therapy, because somehow it's helping the atmosphere.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming in and sharing some light. And people can go where to? umahealth.com.
Umahealth.com, and we have the code is good for another 3 days.
Okay.
The code is Mets 200. If you put that code in, you get a free therapist appointment up to $200.
Excellent. 3 days to go, Dr. Strong. And thank you so much for your advice and your information.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate you guys coming here tonight.
Thanks for having us.